Hello everyone, welcome to Numeriq Learning. Today is day 25 of Do Math with me. So we have been solving a lot of questions from the first two units in the past 24 days. Do check out my playlist if you haven't. And here you will be taking your notebook and you will be pausing the video. You will write the question, do it, and then play the video and then verify if your answer is correct. So let that go on so that your learning is improving, so that you are able to solve questions. Your thinking is also getting refined. So it's all about when you look at the question, how are you thinking to solve it? So let's get started for today. The first question is from polynomials. The question is, if least composite number is one of the zeros of the quadratic polynomial x square minus 4px plus q, then find the value of, you are asked to find root of 16p minus q. Okay, so let's get started. What is the least composite number? The least composite number is nothing but your 4. Okay, so the least composite number is nothing but 4. Okay, so 4, what are you given? This least composite number is one of the zeros of the quadratic polynomial, which means 4 is one of the zeros of the given quadratic polynomial. Let the polynomial be p of x, right? Or I can use a different say, let me just write it on the whole, right? Polynomial. What is the polynomial? X square minus 4px plus q. I am not writing p of x because this p is one of the variable here, right? And q is also. So I don't want to confuse and write p of x. Ideally, p of x is how you represent a polynomial with variable x, and it's small letter p. Okay, you can write it like that. But when you say that since 4 is one of the zeros of this particular polynomial, which means what? If this polynomial is denoted by, say, small letter p of x, in that case p of 4 is equal to 0. That means wherever you have x, if you are replacing x with 4, the value of the polynomial becomes 0. So let's do that. So in place of x, just substitute it as 4. So 4 square minus 4 capital P into x is 4 plus q equal to 0. So 4 square 16 minus 16p plus q equal to 0. So what do you get here? You can take 16p plus q to the other end. So you'll get 16p minus q equal to 16. Right? What have I done? I have taken minus 16p to the other end plus q to the other. So minus 16p becomes plus 16p plus q becomes minus q equal to 16. Now take the square root on both the sides. So take square root on both sides. So what do you get? Square root of 16p minus q equal to root of 16, right? So root of 16 is nothing but plus or minus 4. This is your answer, right? What you are asked is also similar. Root of 16p minus q is what is the, so this is what you are asked to do. I hope you understood. Do pause the video and try solving. Let's move on to the next question. Find the zeros of x square minus root of 8ax plus 2 into a minus b. Now this is a little tricky question. I am going to do it very slowly. Each step, please listen and then you do it. Okay, for this particular question. So let's get started. So solution. So to find the zeros, we have to equate the polynomial to 0. Correct? So suppose let the given polynomial be p of x is equal to x square minus root of 8ax plus 2 multiplied by a minus b. This 8, okay, root of 8, I can write it as root of 2 into 2 into 2. So I can take 1, 2 outside, I can write it as 2 root 2. So this is nothing but x square minus 2 root 2 a and then x plus I can write it as 2 into a minus b. So far clear? Now we are going to do the middle term splitting. So what is your sum and what is your product? Similar to the ones which we do using middle term splitting. So it is minus 2 root 2 a is your b and what is your product? A into c. What is your a? A is 1. So 1 into c. So here you will have 2 into a minus b. Okay. So what are the two terms? If you see here, this is nothing but 2a minus 2b. Correct? If I take root 2a plus root 2b, okay, multiplied by root 2a minus root of root 2b. In that case, what will happen? You have to take the square, right? A plus b into a minus b. So, root of root 2a the whole square minus root 2b the whole square. So, what is root 2a? The root 2 whole square is 2. Root of a the whole square is a. Isn't it? Root a into root a is a. Minus root 2b the whole square. So, b is within the root. So, when you take square of it, root 2 will become root 2 the whole square will become 2. Root b the whole square will become b. Right? So, the two terms that we need, we have already got it. These are the two terms. Okay, you have to remember it. When you add them, right? When you add these two terms, when you multiply them, you are getting 2a minus 2b. When you add them, this root 2b and minus root 2b will get cancelled. You will get a 2 root 2a. But what about this negative sign? There is a negative sign here. So, what should you do? Whenever there is a negative sign, you can add a negative here and a negative here. Right? In both the terms. So, what will be the two terms? It will be minus of root 2a plus root 2b is one term and the other term is minus of root 2a minus root 2b is another term. So, be very careful when you are identifying the roots. Okay, so you have to make sure you are getting. So, now if you multiply it, minus into minus is anyways going to be plus. Okay, you are getting 2a minus 2b. When you are adding them, okay, this minus root 2b and plus root 2b will get cancelled. Minus root 2a minus root 2a, you will be getting minus 2 root 2. So, these are the two terms. So, you will be splitting your middle term into these two values. So, let's go ahead and do it. It's very important that you understand this part. Okay, so here I'm just going to add make the small correction because here it's a negative one, right? So those two are something which you can do it or you can probably write the one which I wrote secondly in order to just understand. Okay, so let's split up the term now. So x square minus 2 root 2a, I'm going to split it up like this. So what is it? Minus I can take common root 2a plus, so plus root 2b, okay, multiplied by x. Again, in the second one, minus of root 2a minus root 2b multiplied by x. I hope I'll rub it. Okay, you can probably make a note of this so that I get some space. And what is the last term? Plus this 2a minus b, I'm going to write it in the form of root 2a minus or plus root 2b multiplied by root 2a minus root 2b. I'm just going to write it in the form of a plus b into a minus b. So that 2a minus b is a square minus b square. Now I have written from the first two terms, I can take x common out. Okay, so what is left is x minus whatever you have in the bracket, you can write it. So root 2a plus root 2b. This is the first term. From the So first two terms you have taken x common out, right? When you take x common out, you have one x left minus of whatever is there in the bracket, just write the same. From this third and the fourth term, what can you take out common? You can take root 2a minus root 2b common. Okay, let me take a negative sign also. So minus of within bracket root 2a minus root 2b is what I'm taking out common. See, from the second and third, I'm taking this and this common out. I've taken it, right? So what is left inside? I've taken a minus also outside. So what is left is just an x, okay, and a minus. Within bracket, I will write root 2a plus root 2b. This is what is left. Now from these two terms, what do you have common? Look at the common term. This is one common term. Let me write it as it is. So x minus root 2a plus root 2b is one common term, and the other common term is x minus root 2a minus root 2b. Okay, so this is equal to x because you have to put, okay, you have to, whenever you are finding the zeros, you have to equate your p of x to 0. Okay, so if this is equal to 0, what are your x values? One of the values is either x minus of this root of 2a plus root of 2b equal to 0. So what will you have your x as? Root 2a plus root 2b is one of the 0. The other 0 will be x minus of root 2a minus root 2b equal to 0. So x is equal to root 2a minus root 2. Because it's in the bracket, nothing changes. It's just the negative sign outside. If it goes to the other end, it becomes positive. So these are the two zeros, right? So you can write the zeros of the given zeros are within bracket. You can write root 2a plus root 2b and root 2a minus root 2b. So this is actually a tricky question according to me, because first of all, you have to identify this root of 8a. You have to first of all write it in terms of 2 root 2, and then 2a minus b, you have to split. You have to think of a square minus b square and then find out the two terms for doing the middle term splitting and for factorization as well. This question is a little bit tricky, but it is not at all difficult. Probably you can do it once or twice and then you will understand it. Okay, so these are the steps. So finally we have got the zeros very easily. Try doing it once or twice without seeing. Okay, first understand how I have done. Okay, here I forgot, I just erased it, right? What is the sum and what is the product? When you are writing, do write it. Okay, so it is minus 2 root 2a, and then here it is 2a minus 2b. Okay, so hope you understood. Let's move on to the next question. Determine graphically the coordinates of the vertices of a triangle, the equations of whose sides are given by 2y minus x equal to 8. You are given just 3 lines, 3 straight lines are given to you. You have to draw them and find out the coordinates, right, of the vertices is what you have to find. Let's do it. For the first one, 2y minus x equal to 8. Let me take that and rewrite it. 2y minus x equal to 8. For various values of x and y, we have to find out the coordinates in order to get the straight line. First of all, if your x is 0, what will be your y? Y will be 4. 2y equal to 8, y equal to 4, right? Secondly, if your y is 2, what will happen? So 4, right? 2 into 2, 4 minus x equal to 8. So x equal to 4 minus. So 4 minus x equal to 8. X is equal to 4 minus 8, which is minus 4. So here you will have a minus 4. Okay. Can we find out one more value? If x is equal to 2, then what will you have? 2y minus 2 equal to 8. 2y equal to 10, y equal to 5. Okay, so these are the points for the first line. Let us find out the points for the second line, coordinates. So 5y minus x equal to 14. Okay, so let's find out at least minimum, bare minimum, you have to find out 2 points. First of all, if x is 1, what will be your y be? So 5y minus 1 equal to 14, 5y equal to 15, y equal to 3. So y is equal to 3. And then if x is equal to minus 4, right? Minus of minus 4 equal to 14. So 5y plus 4 equal to 14. 5y equal to 14 minus 4, which is 10. Y equal to 2. So if your x is nothing but minus 4, your y is going to be 2. So this is your second point. So like this, you will have to do it for each line so that you are able to get the coordinates for that straight line. As you know, this is a linear equation, and whenever you are plotting a linear equation, it's always going to be a straight line graph. And then the last one, y minus 2x equal to 1. I can write it as y is equal to 1 plus 2x, for my convenience. So let's get your x and y coordinates. If x is 0, what will be your y? Y is going to be 1. If x is equal to minus 1, that means 1 minus 2. What is 1 minus 2? Again, it's going to be minus 1. And then if x is 1, then what will be y? 1 plus 2, which is 3. So we have got the three coordinates, right? 3, so that you can plot graphically. Now let us plot graphically. For the first one, I'm going to use different colors, okay? So for the first lines, 0, 4, this is your 0. Okay, so this is your 0. 0, 4, so 0, 4 is this point. Secondly, what is the second point? Minus 4, 2. Where is minus 4, 2? This is the point. And then 2, 5. Where is 2, 5? So you have here 2, 5. Let me draw a straight line. Let me try and draw a straight line here. Okay. So this is your straight line. And whenever you're drawing a straight line, over the line, just write down the equation. That is 2y minus x equal to 8. Now let us move on to the second one. I'm going to change the color and do it. Okay. What is the second line? 1, 3. Where is your 1? 1, 3. So this is your 1, 3. And then minus 4, 2. Minus 4 and then 2. Okay. So let us draw a straight line again. So here, this is your line. Correct? And then the last one for the third one. 0, 1. So 0, 1 is here. Minus 1, minus 1 is going to be here. And then 1, 3. 1, 3. This is also here. So let me draw a straight line. Did you understand? So now what I have to do, what I didn't do is over the line, I have to write what is the equation of the line. Y equal to 1 plus 2x. This was the one. And for the second one, what was the equation? It is 5y minus x equal to 14. Now the graph is very clear, isn't it? You know which equation is being represented by which straight line. So once you have got it, now let us see. So which is the first line here? So this is your second line, right? This is your second line. This is your first line. And this is your third line. Where, you tell me, where do the first two lines intersect? The first and the second line. Where is your first line? This one, right? First two lines intersect where? They intersect at The first and the second line. Am I doing it correctly? Yeah, okay. So the first two lines intersect at 1 and 2. Minus 4 comma 2. Okay, so you can write down. So you can write the coordinates, right? So lines 1 and 2 intersect at, you can give it a point name A minus 4 comma 2. Okay, now where do lines 2 and 3 intersect? So 2 and 3, which is 2, this dark blue. 2 and 3, where do they intersect? They intersect at 1 comma 3. Okay, so let me write that. So this is your point B, right? So B, okay, so you can write lines 2 and 3 intersect at B 1 comma 3. And then lines 1 and 3, where do they intersect? Lines 1 and 3. The first line and the third line, they intersect at 2 comma 5. Okay, so you can mark this as C. So you can write line 1 and 2 intersect at C. What is the point? 2 comma 5. So what are the coordinates? As you can see, one of the coordinate is, so you have to find the coordinate, right, of the vertices. So you can see here, it's forming a triangle, isn't it? Can you see a triangle here? So you have to write the coordinates. So that's what we have marked with A, B and C. That's what I've written here. Okay. So A is the first coordinate. Your B is 1 comma 3 and your C is nothing but 2 comma 5. Read the question again. See. Determine graphically the coordinates of the vertices. Vertices are these A, B and C. Vertices of the triangle, the equations of whose sides are given. So the sides of the, so this was the first side of one of the triangle, which is this line. Then one of the side is this second straight line, and the third side of the triangle is the third straight line. So this triangle is formed by all the three lines, isn't it? And each straight line is given by these equations, linear equations. So you have to first get the coordinates of each of the lines, plot it graphically, accurately on a graph, do it in the graph paper so that your lines are all accurate and you are able to get your coordinates also correct. So that's all you have to do. You have found the coordinates of the vertices of this particular triangle. If you can, do shade this triangle as well. Okay, so let me do it. So this is the triangle. I'm not able to do it because it's an image. I hope you understood. Okay, so this is your triangle, right? Okay, do try it out and I'm sure you'll be getting it. Now let's move on to the next question. This is also a question from your second chapter. So here in today's daily practice, we are doing problems from both chapter 1 and chapter 2 and 3. Okay, so here in this question, if 2 alpha plus 2 beta equal to 18 and alpha beta is 20, then find a quadratic polynomial whose zeros are given as 3 alpha and 3 beta. Very easy. So first of all, whatever is given, right? 2 alpha, sum of the zeros. Let's calculate sum of the zeros. Take 2 common out. Your alpha plus beta equal to 18 and your alpha plus beta will be 18 by 2, which is 9. Okay, so this is your sum of zeros. Again, alpha beta product of zeros is given as 20. You have to write a quadratic polynomial whose zeros are this. So let us find for the required polynomial. For the required polynomial, let us calculate the sum of the zeros. What is the sum of the zero? 3 alpha plus 3 beta. Because 3 alpha and 3 beta are the zeros. So you are just summing it up. Take 3 common out. What will you have? Alpha plus beta. What is the alpha plus beta value from the given values? It is 9. So 3 multiplied by 9, which is 27 is the sum. Okay, let me write it as sum S. And then, what is the product of the zeros? It is nothing but 3 alpha multiplied by 3 beta. 3 3s are 9. 9 into alpha beta. What is alpha beta value? It is 20. So 180. And what is this? This product of zeros, I will denote it by P. Now what is the formula? The formula is nothing but, if you know the sum of the zeros, if you know the product of the zeros, how can you write the quadratic polynomial? It is very easy. K multiplied by x square minus sx plus p. So k multiplied by x square minus 27x plus 180. So when k equal to 1, you can just write default value. When k equal to 1, the polynomial is x square minus 27x plus 180 is the required polynomial. Required polynomial. Okay. So for this particular polynomial, the zeros are 3 alpha and 3 beta. Very easy. Hope you understood. Please pause the video and do it yourself. Okay. Only then, if you are asked the similar question in the exam, you will be able to do it. Okay. Do not just watch the video and if you are in 10th, if you are really, wanting to learn and practice mathematics, mathematics cannot be learnt by just watching or seeing or reading, right? You have to practice, you have to solve a lot of questions. So the more questions you solve, the lesser the mistakes you make, the more stronger you are with respect to your subject or any topic. Right? Hope you understood. So this is your final answer. Now let's move on to the 5th question. Now this is a question from your 3rd unit. 2x plus y equal to 13, 4x minus or find the value of x minus y. First, let's find out what is x and y. So, two linear equations, 2x plus y equal to 13 and 4x minus y equal to 17. Since you have a, plus y and minus y, just add them. So, this will get cancelled. So, 6x equal to 30. And x is nothing but 30 divided by 6, which is 5. So, your x is equal to 5. Put this in any one of the equations. So, I'll put it in 2x plus y equal to 13 in the first equation. So, let this be equation 1. Let this be 2. So, you just put x in equation 1. Okay. So, 2 into 5 plus y equal to 13. So, 10 plus y equal to 13, y equal to 13 minus 10, which is 3. So, your y is nothing but 3. But you are not asked x and y. You are asked x minus y. So, you can write therefore, x minus y equal to 5 minus 3, which is 2. This is your final answer. So, be very careful. Read the question. It will actually be very easy. You just have to read the question thoroughly as to what is asked. Okay. If you just leave at this point, you're calculating x and y correctly, but you have not actually calculated x minus y. It's just a one-step thing, right? You'll lose marks if you are not reading it correctly. So make sure, pay a lot of attention to the question and then think through it. Okay. And this practice that you are doing will definitely help you. Now, let's move on to the last question of today. Sum of two numbers is 105 and the difference is 45. Find the numbers. Again, very, very easy. Let the two numbers be x and y. So, your sum x plus y is 105. X minus y equal to 45. Just add the two equations. Plus y minus y gets cancelled. So, 2x equal to 250. Is it 250? No, 150. Right? 150. And x is equal to 150 divided by 2. So, 2 7s are 14 and 2 5s are 10. So, x is equal to 75. Put x in any one of the equations. So, what do you get? 75 plus y equal to 105. So, y is equal to 105 minus 75. So, 5 minus 5, 0. It's 3, 30. Right? Therefore, your y is equal to 30. So what are the two numbers? The two numbers are 75 and 30 respectively. That's how you have to write. Therefore, the numbers are 75 and 30. This is your final answer. So make sure you write neatly, make sure you write all the steps clearly, and if you're really fast, you should even be able to quickly recheck your answers, right? So we did very, very important 6 questions. A few of them were from the linear equation chapter and a few from the second chapter, that is your polynomials. But this second question, definitely do revisit, definitely do it on your own and do try it. You will definitely be able to do it. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and do support my videos by sharing it with your friends, by subscribing it, and also please join me every Sunday live at 6 to 7 p.m. IST. We will do a lot of problems during that 1 hour every Sunday. It's a recurring series, so definitely do join. Happy learning. Thank you.